Well, we have some interesting news coming out of the gaming development side of the gaming industry over the last couple of days, primarily involving one of the leading game engines that both known developers use as well as budding developers, people looking to enter the industry. Well, we're talking about Unity here. Unity's an engine I've messed around in as well. Part of the reason it draws people is because it uses C# for your languaging model as opposed to C++. It's just a little bit easier to get the grasp on the front end, while C++ is a little more in depth, and primarily you're looking at like Unreal Engine if you're going to use C++, where their blueprint system comes in if you're looking for ease of use on the front end, where you're going to get from something like Unity. But Unity, they have announced a surprise update to their pricing model for the engine. This will be implemented January 1st of 2024. So that is drawing rather near. We're looking at just under 3 months away. So what's going on here? Well, nothing good. So let's go ahead and take a look. Unity has announced that it will be charging developers a fee every time a user installs the game, even if someone's installing the game they own on a new computer. It's just ludicrous, right? It's just ludicrous. So you purchase the game through, say, Steam, or it's a free-to-play title that you have. You install the game. You reformat your drive. The game's gone. You need to install it again. Well, lucky you, that developer's gonna have an install charged against them, and it's specifically for the Unity runtime software. Now, this isn't for like budding developers who don't make any money, but you're looking at people who are making $200,000 in revenue from their game and have 200,000 lifetime game installs. Now, this is still a small amount. You look at the most recent, one of the most recent released indie games, Sea of Stars from Sabotage Studio. 1 million sales for a $25 game is well over this. They have plenty of fees. They're not making pure profit off of that. Like if you're going through Steam or the Xbox Marketplace, or if you're going to the PlayStation Store, wherever else it might be sold, the Epic Games Store, other online retailers, they're not making that full profit. Then on top of that, they do have their cuts, not really cuts, but they do have the amount that they need to pay their actual developers. And, well, too bad. Too bad. It's kind of a high threshold. Like if I made something and I got $200,000 in profit, I'd be ecstatic, but not in Unity anymore. These are calculated according to the number of installs above the threshold, and you're looking at 20 cents per install. They do have sort of discounts, of course, that you can get for using it. If you're using their in-engine ad service for your mobile titles, they'll lower that. So Unity is taking your customers' personal information, name, email address, phone number, that sort of stuff, selling it to vendors, data brokers, and then still charging you for installs above that. Here are some of the largest games using Unity right now. Smaller studios, really. You have Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact is huge. It is a free-to-play title. It is definitely over the 200,000 mark they set. Among Us, Cult of the Lamb, Dredge, Kerbal Space Program, The Pale Beyond, Volcano Princess, Mars First Logistics, Beat Saber, Cuphead, and Marvel Snap, a popular mobile trading card game. You're looking at this means demos, DRM-free games, bundles. Yeah, DRM-free games, that's one thing. It doesn't matter if it's pirated. As long as it's installed, that data will be sent back to Unity. So someone could theoretically pirate the game, paying nothing for it, install it, delete it, install it, delete it, install it, delete it, racking up those. Any sort of bundles, Humble Bundle, charity models, stuff like that. Updates, if for some reason there's an issue and the game needs to be reinstalled. Multi-device users, if someone wants to play Genshin Impact on their cellular device as well as their computer, that's still one user, but that's 2 installations. Or if they get a new phone, or if they have to reformat their phone, like I said before, reformat their computer. And here we go. Unity did try to defend it, saying the only ones who will be impacted are, people who are successful. But no one's really buying into that. Let's get down to what they actually said. Oh, you also have plenty of people who work in Unity who are asking the people who purchase their products to do not install their games. And Unity also said that they don't actually have a solid answer or anything that's really transparent to provide you developers on how they're measuring these installs. Right here you can see we do already have fraud detection practices in our ads technology, which is solving a similar problem. So we will leverage that know-how as a starting point. We recognize that users will have concerns about this, and we will make available a process for them to submit their concerns to our fraud compliance team. So after you're charged an arm and a leg for using their engine that they're already taking money from you for, you have to contact them and hope it comes into your base. And so, yeah, and this is what I was talking about. Install bombing. We have review bombing. We have, user scores on Metacritic. Starfield's going through it. Spider-Man 2 will be going through it here shortly. But yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. Pirate game, delete it and download it again. Multiple times, company loses $600. Here is from Cult of the Lamb developer, Massive Monster. They are threatening to pull their highly successful game because they're just going to be continuously charged for this. Inner Soth, creators of Among Us, Aggro Crab, I don't know what they make. Plenty of memes. I don't think I've ever seen so many devs angry against the same thing. This is true Unity. And so, yeah, we leverage our own proprietary data model, so you can appreciate that we won't go into a lot of detail, but we believe it gives an accurate determination of the number of times that runtime is distributed for a given project. Well, no, we can't really appreciate that because you'll be charging us for it, so we didn't need transparency in this data. Unity can just say that your game was charged this many times, give you 0 bits of data on it. So you can't challenge us. You can't claim fraud. You'll have no evidence to claim something happened to your game, that it was install bombed or anything like that, which could be done easily through a little bot that you can make for your computer. Install it, delete it. Install it, delete it. Fuck, change your VPN. Have a VPN and change your location. Get different locations as well. Unity is literally just saying, trust us. We got this. Sources, dude, trust us. And so you have plenty of people looking to just completely leave Unity. And that's great. Unreal Engine 5 is fantastic. Plenty of games coming out, and plenty of games using even UE4 are fantastic. People go into other software. But that's not where it ends. Let's see. Another bit of interesting news here that came out. The CEO of Unity sold 50,000 shares this year before this announcement was made, and just last week he sold another 2,000 shares. It seems they knew this would not be popular, so they decided to get their money's worth before this announcement was made. They knew exactly what they were doing. They're just trying to wring every last bit of income they can out of Unity before it goes completely under. Now, I have a cold. That was a nice sneeze. Unity has decided that within hours of the backlash that they were going to change fees, with developers threatening to jump ship. But it doesn't really do anything. So its runtime fee will be changed, and now it's going to be on install as opposed to download. That makes it actually easier to defraud. Unity has now tweaked its policy and will only charge for an initial installation. So onto a new phone. If you change your hardware in your computer, that will be considered by most cases a new device. If you reset your phone, if you do anything, you're going to be costing the company money. Even though, Unity's already taken their cut from that initial sale, or the subscription fees that developers are already paying for Unity. There's a free one, then there's different levels of subscription that you can pay to Unity, which obviously you're going to have more tools available to you. But yeah, it's not going great. And here we go. Cult of the Lamb is Massive Monsters. Cult of the Lamb developer Massive Monster is officially threatening to pull their game on January 1st because of what's going on with Unity. You have a successful game, you still need to pay your developers, you still need to pay your employees. Like I said, your profit share is being paid to storefronts. Unity doesn't care. So come January 1st, if this effect remains in effect, Massive Monster is going to be pulling it. Devolver Digital is now requiring... Devolver Digital is a fantastic publisher. They publish a ton of small indie games. They're now requiring you to state what engine you're going to be using when you're making your pitch to them to fund your game. So what's Unity doing? Well, they're really, really, really just trying to wring out the last bit from their engine that they possibly could. Unreal Engine, it's definitely the market leader for smaller titles. It's a little more complex on the back end because it's using C++ than Unity, which isn't. So people naturally went to Unity. They had choices before. Now it's definitely turning into Unreal is going to be the first and foremost choice for every developer out there. As you can see with Devolver Digital saying, any pitches to us, please include the engine you're using. Up to 20 cents per install. That is ludicrous. So at least you can't have your game pirated 500 times and downloaded and installed. Unless you know how to, change your fucking MAC address or anything on your computer and switch it over, which people know how to do. People who'd be install bombing a game are aware of how to take advantage of that. So what's Unity doing in a competitive engine market for developers? They are sawing off their legs and then eating them. So yeah, no one is happy about this. Jeff Keighley said this is terrible, period. That's what Jeff Keighley said. Probably one of the most known gaming journos out there, and overall just a friendly guy. When Mr. Keighley decides that something is terrible, you fucked up. Unity, you fucked up. So we'll see if they do any more changes here, because even still, just charging for the game to be installed after you're already charging your royalties on it, even if it's like a crossplay. So like if you purchase something on Xbox and it has crossplay, you purchased it, you can play it on your PC, you can play it on your console. That's two different installs to unique things. How's that work with cloud gaming though too? There's games that you can play on the cloud that use Unity. How is that going to work with that? Well, anyways, seems like you want to abandon the ship for Unity and move on. There's plenty of smaller game engine suites out there you can go to. You can always dive into UE5. Epic Games was sure to point out that they only take a 5% cut, no matter what. And then anything sold on the Epic Games Store, they don't take any revenue from. So you can always do that too. Meanwhile, out here, Unity is pulling the exact opposite and trying to nickel and dime developers who might have released a freemium game on mobile. Has a ton of downloads. They don't make a ton of money, but they're going to be paying money. There was one developer who said if he kept his game on mobile, with the amount of downloads it received, he'd be paying $560,000 a year over what the income was for that after, mobile stores took their cut, after the normal revenue share. So after everything came in, he would still owe $560,000. So, yeah, that's it for Unity. Even if they completely cancel this, are you going to want to stay with the developer or the developer of an engine that has proven that they're willing to do something like this and only slightly modify it after backlash? No, you don't want to stay with them. You're going to go looking for other sources. You're going to see a huge uptick in UE5. And the only downside about UE5 is Tencent has quite a big stake in that, so you got to be okay with your information being available to the good old CCP. Anyways, with that, I'm out. I have some Valorant or Starfield or Magic to play.